Good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's coffee chat. Today, what I have on my mind is Canada's new food guide. Hey, I know that it came out a couple of weeks ago, and you likely expected me to talk about it last week. But you know what? When it finally got released, there was just such a cacophony of knee-jerk reactions and people using it to really just like pick it apart and use it as a soapbox to project and rant about their points of view, often kind of extreme diets. I just didn't want to participate in that. What is that phrase? Like, only fools rush in. No, I know what you appreciate from me is to have a bit more of a measured approach, a thoughtful approach, balanced of the science with my years and years of experience. So I wanted to wait for all of that craziness to subside and then share with you my thoughts on it. Canada's Food Guide. I'm really happy that it's out, and there's lots of positive things about the new food guide. Is it perfect? No. I mean, really, how could it be? Expecting perfection is just not reality. A, when it's always a compromise, and then B, nutrition, we're an emerging science. We keep learning new things. And so to expect perfection right now and never change our recommendations again, that's a really naive point of view. So is it perfect? No. Does it meet the needs of every single person? No, of course not. Nutrition isn't one size fits all. Does it do a decent job of meeting the needs or showing how to eat to meet the needs for many healthy people? Yeah, I think it does a pretty good job of that. The more that doesn't match you, whether you have, say, health conditions, you're an athlete, etc., the further away you are from average, the more it's not going to meet your needs. But it does a pretty good job for many of us. So here's a little breakdown of the things I like about the new Canada's Food Guide and some things that I'm going to still disagree with. The first is that it uses a plate. It's designed as a plate now. Big kudos from me for that. Much more concrete in its recommendations visually that way. That rainbow, it was just far too esoteric. I never came across someone who understood that the size of the arc in the rainbow was meant to be the relative amounts of your eating of those foods. Far too esoteric. The plate is much more concrete. That gets a big thumbs up from me. Half a plate being vegetables and fruit. Yep, two big hands up from me on that one. I absolutely agree with half of what you're eating being vegetables and fruit. And you'll notice, if you're really paying a close attention to the particulars, that there's a slight name change there. It used to be called fruits and vegetables, and now it's called vegetables and fruit. And that's a change that I've been making for a good 15 years or so, switching up the title. Because that is the emphasis that I recommend most people eat. Small kids, you know what, they can handle the amount of natural sugars that are in fruits, and many kids naturally like fruit more than vegetables, so it's a great way for them to be getting those vitamins, those minerals, those antioxidants, phytochemicals, all the good stuff that's in those plants. But as adults, we just can't handle even that much natural sugar as we age. And so, for small kids it can be fruits and veggies, but as we are adults, you want to switch that emphasis to vegetables and fruit, not fruits and veggies. There's a subtle change there, but one that I'm super supportive of. The next grouping over there, protein foods. Love that. Love that it's present there to indicate, yes, you want to be including protein foods at every meal. I also love the name change there. It used to be called meats and alternatives. Again, for about 15 years or so, I've changed it to protein foods. Because yeah, I don't want the plant-based proteins to be like playing second fiddle to the meats. I think it should be a variety, and you can be healthy whichever way you choose to eat, and definitely including some plant-based meals regularly. So I love the representation of protein foods on that plate there, as well as the name change and the increased emphasis on the plant-based proteins. The next group, the grains group, that's where I have the most disagreement with there. I prefer to call it a starch group and include both grains, like whole grains, as well as the starchier vegetables in there. So things like potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, corn. I don't like putting those in the vegetable group because I do find that they are a little too much carb-centric, and I do like to move those more into with the grains and call it more of a starch group. So that's one change I would recommend making, not thinking of potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, corn as vegetables, but thinking of them more as some great options for your starch group. And then the food group that no longer is there, the milk and alternatives. I fully agree. Again, for about 15 years or so, I've been saying, yeah, we don't need a full separate group for those foods. If you choose to include dairy foods, you'll find yogurt, cheese, those sorts of things in the protein group where it belongs. So I'm super happy to see that change there. Emphasis on drinking water. Yeah, having water being the bulk of what you're choosing, absolutely on board with that. I'm also super, super excited that the food guide now talks about more than just what foods to eat, like the nutrients in the food. Some people call that like a nutritionism approach, and is including recommendations on how to eat. If you've been following me for a while, you've been in a community for a while, you know that I am super supportive of that. I really firmly believe that how we eat is as important for our health as what we eat. So I love that they're talking about tuning in while eating, less mindless eating, absolutely key for being healthy. That it's talking about families, unplug and talk to each other, have meals. Even just the concept of meals we need to be teaching now. Love that that's included there. I also love that it's talking about cooking more. Yes, please cook more at home. That's super key. And also that it's talking about enjoying food. Love that that's included as a part of health. Absolutely, it's healthy to enjoy your food. You need to tune in order to do that. And I completely reject the concepts of guilty pleasure while eating. No. And I really also reject this concept of cheat days. No, and I won't go into a big rant on that in today's video, but I do have a blog post about that. And so if you're curious, if you're like, what? She doesn't agree on believe in cheat days. What does she mean by that? I'll include in the description box below a link to that blog post. But I'm absolutely loving that they're talking about enjoying food as being healthy. So yeah, in summary, is the food guide perfect? No. Can you nitpick it apart? Yes. But is it a giant leap in the right direction? Absolutely. Those are my thoughts on the food guide. If you liked today's video, please let me know. Hit the like button below. I connect with you each week here Thursday mornings for new coffee chats. Please join me by clicking the subscribe button, and then you'll always know that I've posted a new one. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you here next Thursday.